You're with Julian on the Brown Note and the fatal mishandling of Donald Trump, who a video has emerged today from 2016 saying that Donald Trump is, in my administration, I'm going to enforce all laws concerning the protection of classified information, as though we aren't used to this. So in recent days we've had, see what I thought was that the Alex Jones text messages may have set off this whole FBI raid thing, but we had the FBI raiding Mar-a-Lago, his estate, and removing lots of classified information. And the right-wing whack jobs saying about how this was an abuse of FBI power, and all these Blue Lives Matter folk going from praising the police to defund the FBI in one heartbeat. And just going crazy to the extent they encouraged a guy to go and try and shoot up an FBI office and die, which is only the start of this. If about 5 years ago, I would have said, I'm pretty sure I said that Donald Trump's going to get in the White House and steal the nuclear codes and sell them to the Russians, but I was joking. I mean, there's no bottom to how far these people go. And there's no bottom that will stop his base following him. So why would he have taken them? This is like, we never ask the whys. You know, the whys are the most important things. Why has Scott Morrison appointed himself to all these ministries? Why did Donald Trump take these nuclear secrets, or take any of the secrets that he took, including stuff on the president of France? I don't know. I mean, the darkest thing to think here, if it did involve anything to do with nuclear, is that he was going to try and take America by force, and that he wanted to, have all this tactical information. And his base would follow him, as it's half America now, nearly, would follow him blindly into a war anyway against the rest of America. So, I mean, is there a possibility that he wanted them for insurrection purposes? Monetary gain's the most likely thing. All he's done his whole life has been for monetary gain, even though he's been singularly unsuccessful as a businessman over and over. So we need to know why. But this whole piece is, they've never handled Donald Trump. How has he been allowed to get so far? How is someone that entered the game with 25 accusations of sexual assault, being best friends with Jeffrey Epstein, how were they allowed to get so far into this? Someone that has gone through trial after trial for tax evasion and fraud and God knows what else, how has he been allowed to exist in the form that he is, that still has half the country in America actually following him, worshipping him, waiting for a chance to vote for him? The greatest threat to democracy in American democratic history, without a doubt. How have they not done anything to stop this? The problem that they've got is that they keep charging him and not convicting him. There are so many dozens of charges leveled at Donald Trump, and they never get across the line. Every case drags on for years. Why? We all know that he's guilty as sin of a number of crimes, and they don't convict him. And what that does is it fosters in the mind of his followers that he's being persecuted, not that he is what he is, a massive criminal. Because they keep charging him and never convicting him, they think he's innocent of all of the charges. I wish they would stop charging him and then letting a ball run for 4 years before they're going to get a result. Because it is only compounding the victim complex of his support base. They're doing it wrong. They need to convert some of these charges into actual criminal prosecution and verdicts. It seems like all these fraud trials that he faces are just getting further into the distance. If someone has been accused like he has, and if the head of the FBI, the Attorney General, and the head of the Department of Justice have signed off on a no-knock warrant for a president's premises to be, like, no-knock means we are kicking your door in and not telling you, which has never happened in the history of the United States. They've got serious shit on him. This is serious national security stuff. So make it public, but arrest him as a traitor. Put him in jail. I don't care whether or not that riles his base up. They're going to do it anyway. They're going to be kicking off like mad. But letting him sit there in the sun, firing pot shots, is the wrong way to do it. You need to put him in jail, like you would any other treasonous traitor to the country. They don't do anything to him. He still sits there. All these trials go on for years and nothing ever happens. And now, I mean, how many times has he been guilty of, sexual assault or tax fraud? And he's not been convicted. They just punt the ball down the road. No, it's never happened to anyone. Is it because he's part of the elite? His fans seem to think that this born and bred billionaire, if he even is a billionaire, is some wrecking ball to, the establishment. He is the establishment. He was born and bred in the establishment. He was friends with the Clintons. He was friends with Epstein. He is just a narcissistic sociopath that has accidentally tumbled into this incredible vortex of Fox News hate that has sprung up. He is a symptom. He is not like the god of it all. He is a symptom of the endgame of this. But he's still out there. If Julian Assange can be jailed for virtually a decade in some form or other for posting an entirely truthful video online, how is he allowed to walk free? Surely he's done more than Julian Assange has. Is the elite in America and the Democrats protecting one of their own? In the long run, even if he's on the other side, he's still an elite billionaire. He's still a huge threat, and there's going to be some really torturous couple of years to go through for America. And they just let him sit there causing it all. Surely, if anyone is deemed a threat to the United States, it's him. This guy just tried to overthrow a democratic election. This guy just fomented a riot at the seat of power in America, and he is still out there. And they just have committee hearing after committee hearing, and they don't do anything to him. How is this insurrection not a jailable offence? How is having these classified documents not a jailable offence? Put him in jail. I mean, his fans can cry all they want, but at least you're cutting him off at the knees. At least you're barring him from any power at all, other than him being followed blindly from jail. He can't stand for office. You can't overthrow election verdicts. Your country's standing on the brink of civil war. It's blindly walking into fascism. The problem the left have, and the problem the centrists have, is that they always disagree on things. The right don't. The right will line up behind Donald Trump, which is why it's so hard to outnumber them. Because someone will have a problem with something on the left, and there'll be a divergence of opinion, which is what normal people do. But these right-wing zealots don't have that. They will all line up behind Donald Trump and fight doesn't matter what he does. He could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and get away with it. He can do a lot worse than that. He can steal classified documents from the White House. He can be accused of raping a 13-year-old girl, which he has been. None of it matters. The only way to stop him is to lock him up, because the left will always lose this long game. If you've got a group of people that block vote 100% of the time and they never waver, the left don't do that. And that's why they're in so much danger. You can't rely on outnumbering them every time.